wish she had isolated herself. I wish she had stayed home. But with the many bills that are still piling up regardless of the situation,
kutikisha iwe insansa na mukabene takwagabe uyo ni mukabene uyo aliupwa kwata kwensoni. What's up, the name is Judy, yo. It is what it is. And I just want to say a big congratulations to Lily, aka GeloWapaZ, on her 50k subscribers mark.
Hi guys, it's your girl lilymutamztv, also known as GeloWapaZ, girl from Zambia. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that each time I upload videos, you will be notified that GeloWapaZ has uploaded a video. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos and for tuning in each time I upload videos. For those of you who have watched my previous video about what some people have been doing in the UK, some British people, then this video is also for you. What I came across has shocked me. In fact, I cannot even believe that it even happened. So I came across an article that shocked me. Why is there so much hatred for black people in Britain? Like, we are in the 21st century. And this COVID-19 is exposing a lot of things. So a lady named Belly Mujinga has died to COVID-19. Not because she contracted COVID-19 through maybe contacting someone who has COVID-19, but she was deliberately infected. Do Black Lives Matter? Do people out there think about black people as human beings? Or do some people feel that we don't need to exist and we can be treated anyhow? Let me read this article and I will break down what my thoughts are on this story. So the headline is, Coronavirus, Victoria ticket worker dies after being spat at. Can you imagine? Let me carry on. A railway ticket office worker has died with coronavirus after being spat at by a man who claimed had COVID-19. This is somebody who is working at the train station in London and is spat at by a passenger just because obviously she is black. So this guy decides to target her and spits on her. Are people using COVID-19 as a weapon to target black people? We've seen how the Chinese have mistreated blacks by making them homeless in China because they believe black people have the new type of infection of COVID-19. And now here we have somebody who is standing at the ticket office, standing at the railway station, and a passenger decides to spit on her. Let's read further. It doesn't say where this woman is from. By the way, I'm reading from BBC. And there's so many articles out there from The Guardian and all the other papers online. It doesn't say which African country she's from, but reading Mujinga, I guessed she's from Ugandan origin. If you are from Uganda, let me know if Mujinga is a Ugandan name, either Uganda or Tanzania. But let's get back to this reading. So Belly Mujinga, who is 47, who has had underlying respiratory problems, was working at Victoria Station in London in March this year when she was assaulted along with a female colleague. We don't know what race of the other colleague was. Within days of the incidents, both women fell ill with the virus. To be honest, I feel this is a deliberate attack. I travel to London a lot and I've lived in London for some time as well. And I know that at the London Underground, you get to meet familiar faces. They get to even know you. They greet you. And majority of people who work there are immigrants. This is what I was talking about even in the other video. To say that the black Africans, black Caribbeans, Asians are the ones who are in the front line of jobs that the indigenous British will say, I'm not going to do that. And now this is somebody who leaves her house, goes to work together with her colleague, thinking it's another day at work, gets spat on by a passenger. That form of assault, I have experienced it before. So I'm not surprised. It is another weapon of some British people when they want to attack you because they can physically beat you because the police can arrest them. I was parked at Audi stores in my town in Stockton-on-Tees when a certain driver didn't want to use the other lane because I was faced this way and he was the other side. But instead of using the other lane for him to go where he needed to go out to the exit, and I was parked near the pedestrian crossing by Audis, he didn't want to move. He rather came and parked in front of me. True story. And he sat there like, I'm not going to move my car. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with him? There's no traffic. And I was waiting for my son to come out of the shop. So when he decided he was tired with his wife, he drove in reverse, came right by my window. Luckily, my window was closed and spat on my window. That was the first time in my entire life, from the time I was a child till now, that somebody will attack me like that. I went inside the store and I told them that this is what happened. Now, in this era of coronavirus, I don't think I would have let him go. I'm telling you. I would have made sure I follow the car until the police catch him. You can imagine somebody is at work and your only form of assault is to spit on them because you have the coronavirus so that they should catch it. It was a deliberate attack. Let me carry on. So within days, obviously, they got the infection, and the British Transport Police, who work so hard and make sure there's safety underground on the London trains. For those of you who've never visited the UK, we have what we call the British Transport Police that make sure there's safety, and I applaud them for the great work they do. They said an inquiry had been launched to trace the man who had spat at the pair. There's CCTV all over. I'm sure they will catch the person. Mrs. Mujinga was on the concourse of the Victoria on the 22nd of March 2020 when she was approached by the suspect. She was approached. I didn't even read the full article, and I've already concluded it was a deliberate attack. There's some videos that have leaked where people are going to cars spitting on cars, touching on cars. What type of stupidity is that? I mean, if you don't like people, do something else. Must you attack people by going to spit? For me, I see as well that such type of behavior is some form of mental health, where somebody has these negative thoughts about a certain gender or race, and then they use their current situation to attack, So this article adds that her husband, named Lusamba Gode Katale, said the man asked his wife what she was doing and why she was there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the stupidity? You are asking somebody what she was doing when all the underground workers or train station workers, they wear uniform and a high-vis orange jacket on top, and then you ask what she was doing there. And then she told him that she was working, and the man said he had a virus and he spat on her. Are we safe as Black people in Britain? If somebody can deliberately approach you and spit on you to say, I have the virus, spit on you, this is not right. Black lives should matter. And it is high time we asked for some form of protection. And even at the train stations as well, with such type of attacks, we need the police to be on guard on all. There's usually barriers of train stations to protect the people working. Because if somebody can approach you and spit on you after they say they have the virus, it's quite frightening, I must say. And I'm sure other people who work underground or work on the trains, they are scared for their lives. So Mrs. Mujinga was admitted to Barnet Hospital on the 2nd of April and was put on a ventilator. But she died 3 days later. The Transport Salaried Staffs Association, TSSA, said the Prime Minister's official spokesperson described the attack on the key worker as despicable. In the UK, there is what they are calling key workers, people who work for the government, the NHS, the underground trains, the post office, like places that people need service, like travel. This woman could have been home. And I'm sure if we find out, some British people have self-isolated themselves because they have heard that they can get paid if they say they are ill from the COVID-19, they have symptoms. And if they can stay home for 14 days, they can get payment. And this happens to this lady. This is heartbreaking. Mr. Katale, who is her husband, said he called his wife on a video app when she was in hospital. Because obviously if somebody has COVID-19, they cannot be visited. But he didn't hear from her again. How heartbreaking is this? Your wife goes to work and then gets spat on because you are an African or a Black person that does not want to stay on benefits. Like what some British people say, we wait for handouts, and then somebody out there who is obviously white spits on her while she's on duty trying to make a living instead of being on benefits. And you spit on her. And tomorrow, some people will sit somewhere and insult how we Africans, we Black people, sit at home and wait for handouts. And how we are dirty. We get the COVID-19 because we don't wash our hands. When somebody deliberately spits on her. I blame the media. that has also tried to put black people at a certain level. We are ignorant. We are poor in Africa. We are down. We wait for handouts from the Western world. So that perception of the media, which I call BBC propaganda or media propaganda, has made certain white people have a natural hatred for black people or other ethnic minorities like the Asians from Pakistan, India, and all the other parts of the world because of the media. The media will only portray the negative side of Africa, the negative side of black people, the negative side of black minority ethnic people. We are here on benefits. We are here seeking refuge. We are here because where we come from, there is no water. And yet our countries have natural resources in which our leaders, without choice, are told to trade in silently with these big countries. And we are left with nothing. And then somebody will say, we don't have high IQ. For those of you who don't understand what I'm saying, there's a video I will link down below where we were called low IQ. We are low IQ. Who is high IQ? Somebody who goes to work because they want to pay their bills legit, or somebody who approaches somebody who's at work and spits on them. This is heartbreaking. And according to the husband, Mr. Katale, I thought she might be asleep, but the doctor phoned to tell me that she had died. She was a good person, a good mother, and a good wife. She was a caring person and would take care of everybody around her, obviously. 10 people attended the funeral of Mrs. Mujinga, including her 11-year-old daughter. God. Bye, mommy. I'll see you later when you come from work. Those are the goodbyes our children say from the time they are young, especially from the black minority ethnic people, because we don't know how to be lazy. Our children even know that we work. My 4-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old, 3, knows mommy is going to work. Now I can imagine an 11-year-old, she is used to the pattern of mommy is going to work, only for mommy to come back 3 days later in hospital, a few days later dies. This is sad, and it is so unfair. And this family, regardless of the situation, should be compensated. I know it is not a good situation, but when I think about an 11-year-old daughter who will attend her prom without a kiss from her mother, it breaks my heart. Who will go to senior secondary school, obviously at 11 she's in senior secondary school, graduate, go to university without the mother. How do you think this will creep on the mental health of this child? To learn that her mother went to work and somebody decided to spit on her. Do you think the child will ever have confidence even when she goes out with friends or she goes to school? That would haunt her. Because obviously an 11-year-old can Google, can search on the internet, can read. Even if the father tries to tell her, mommy died this way, she will never believe that until she searches the internet. Wherever this person is, you will never have peace. Because you have broken a family that lived within their means. that pay taxes in this country, probably the person who even spat on her is on benefit, waiting for handouts, and then you spat on her. Her cousin Agnes Ntumba told the BBC that Mrs. Mujinga believed she was safe in her usual work environment, the ticket office. I figured as much. This is somebody who thought she would be safe. She works there, probably for many years. For somebody to have an 11-year-old, she probably has been working there for many years, only to be spat on. And then the cousin added, they should have not made her work on the concourse, she said. She shouldn't have died in this condition. We could have prevented it. If she had more PPE, or if they kept her inside instead on the concourse. So basically, she was not really inside the ticket area where there's a glass door or whatever you can call it. She was just probably on the outside, probably showing people about the tickets, how they can get tickets, and this person just came directly and spat on her. And I agree with the cousin that if the government knows right now that there is coronavirus, those staff should be wearing PPE throughout to protect them. Because if she had been wearing proper PPE and this person spat on her, it would have landed at least on the PPE and not her body, because the coronavirus can be contracted like that. So the Transport Association, obviously the General Secretary, has stated that the person's name is Manuel Cortes, has stated that we are shocked and devastated at Belly's death. She is one of the far too many of the frontline workers who have lost their lives to coronavirus, deliberately lost their lives. Because if this person did not deliberately attack this woman, she would have still been alive, probably working. And then he adds that the union added that they were serious, about this, and they were going to ask questions about her death. Mr. Cortes said, as a vulnerable person in the at-risk category and her condition known to her employer, there are questions about why she wasn't stood from the frontline duties early on in the pandemic. I'm just surprised that somebody who has these health underlying conditions was allowed to even be in the front line, exposing herself at risk. I wish she had isolated herself. I wish she had stayed home. But with the many bills that are still piling up, regardless of the situation, I bet she had no choice. It's heartbreaking. It is therefore my plea to my immigrant friends and well-wishers. If you know you have an underlying condition and you still feel you need to work, try by all means to stay away from the public, especially when it puts your health at risk. There's a lady from Zimbabwe who died. She had diabetes. She was in the front line. There was a pregnant nurse, 28 weeks pregnant. I believe she was still working. She also lost her life. They had to rescue the baby. My immigrant friends, don't put your life at risk, because there's nobody out there that will care for you than yourself. If you can care about yourself, nobody will do this to you. It's unfortunate it has happened this way. I watched a video of doctors, professionals from the black minority ethnic complaining that the PPE that is being given even to NHS workers who are agency that travel to work to help the NHS is not sufficient enough. Some of them are not even being told that the person that they are dealing with has coronavirus. It is alleged. So don't put yourself at risk. It is not worth it. I know we will fight COVID-19 together. Stay home. Stay safe. If possible, if you have documents, try by all means to do something else, a different job that would prevent you from meeting people face to face. I'm so sorry for the family. I'm so sorry this has happened to you. And it is heartbreaking that I have to share this news. So the company that Miss Mujinga works for, Govia Thameslink Railway GTR, said it has looked into the allegations very seriously and is investigating all claims. They must compensate the family. Angie Doe of GTR said the safety of our customers and staff who are key workers themselves continues to be in the front of the mind of all times, and we follow the latest government guidelines. It's heartbreaking that this has happened. I am urging you, my subscribers, don't put yourself at risk, please. Your family needs you. We need you. It's a girl, lilymutamztv, also known as Gelopaze. See you on my next video. May Belly Mujinga rest in power, because she died whilst trying to serve customers as a key worker and in the front line, helping people instead of being at home. May she rest in power.
According to the latest report, over 40,000 people have died to the coronavirus in Britain. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button, and follow me on all social media platforms at lilymutamztv.